Panic attacks can be quite scary, so I think the more we know about them, the better. So the place to start is to think that it's not something specific to certain people, not to others. Panic attacks can happen to everyone. In fact, they are a very standard human response to anxiety. So when anxiety becomes really overwhelming, then what happens is that we have this fight or flight response that changes things in our body. So it shifts, it moves things inside our body. So a lot of adrenaline substitutes itself to our oxygen in the bloodstream. So what happens is that an excess of adrenaline creates that response that is the fight or flight response. And an extreme version of that is a panic attack. And when that happens, things move in our body. The sense of energy moves away from the core of our body. So people think that they have a panic, that they have a heart attack, or there is our digestive system shuts down or slows down. So people feel a bit sick when they have a panic attack, or they have that sense of having butterfly in our stomach. And then there's a lot of energy moving into our limbs, because if you think about it, when we have that fight or flight response, we need that energy in our hands, in our legs, so we get really fidgety and twitchy. So there's a lot of energy going away from the core of our body. And what happens when we have a lot of adrenaline is that it's difficult to think, it's difficult to concentrate, and it's difficult to make sense of things. So when we have a panic attack, it's really difficult to feel anchored and grounded in the here and now. So there's two things that we need to think about when people suffer from panic attacks. So the first thing is, short term, we need to think about what can make you feel grounded in that moment, and that's primarily breathing. So you want to introduce more oxygen so that steadying your breathing can get rid of that adrenaline faster. Because when a panic attack starts, there's no stopping it. So a panic attack has to do its course. There are ways to dilute that adrenaline faster so that we can move on with the rest of our life a bit quicker. And so the first thing is about breathing, is about reintroducing oxygen. And the second thing is about grounding. So anything that can get me in touch with the here and now will be beneficial when I'm having a panic attack. Anything that grounds me. So they're usually things that put me back in touch with my body. So that means that there might be sensory oriented things. So that can be stimulating my senses, or distracting myself, or anything that I can look at, listen to, taste, that sort of things. That will help you for us to feel a bit more grounded. And then longer term, we need to think about what are the causes, what are the root causes that trigger those panic attacks. So we need to start noticing patterns. We need to start thinking about what is it? Are there things in common? Are there traits? Are there themes?